So the beautiful thing about adult life is that life is not either or. The human brain has no elastic limit. The human brain has a mechanism known as neuroplasticity, that whatever information you feed into it, it generates new cells to accommodate that information. So it will not hit an elastic limit. But instead, it will use that diversity of information you have fed into it to generate solutions for. If, for example, I enroll for a course in IT, but at the same time, I go into some of the psychology courses, and I read some books in law, so I grasp some concepts in law, and then I go to the medical school, maybe I pick a few things, I learn about neuroanatomy and you know, whatever it is. Physiology, biochemistry, blah, blah. And then I go to marketing. And I go to agriculture. By the way, some of the best management scholars, management writers I have met are people from the natural sciences, especially biologists. Because human society and human dynamics mimic nature. And they bring all this diversity of knowledge to bear on their conceptualization of the world. The things I do consulting in, the things that earn me great money, I have never studied them in the classroom. They are things I have read casually.
Yeah.
I teach university professors how to teach. I have never been in the school of education, even for 1 hour.
That's
Okay.
powerful. So does that come as a result of what you mentioned in the book, what you call self-education, and you verse it with formal education?
Because, especially the era in which we are,
Yeah.
knowledge is multiplying very fast. Okay, so there are too many things for me to know, too many things that are so critical to my work and my life that I need to know, and I can't keep going back to school to learn them. Take guys in the IT industry, even in the media industry. The technology is changing all the time. I'm not going to be going back to class all the time to learn these things. So I argue in my book that in the 21st century, people who are narrow-skilled may survive, but it is those who are multi-skilled that will thrive.
Right. Yes.
And because of that, I argue that therefore, it is this formal education may, I can't guarantee, may earn you a job.
Yeah.
But as far as my experience is concerned, my personal experience, but also observing other people around me, it is self-education that will build you a prosperous career. And so by self-education, I mean identify that which you want to learn and learn it.
Yeah.
Because after all, we have what I think is the greatest gift of the 21st century. That's the internet.
Yeah.
Is there anything I want to learn that is not on the internet?
No,
I have not encountered one.
me neither.
Actually, on the internet, I can learn better than what I can learn in the classroom, the formal classroom. That doesn't render the formal classroom useless. It has its role. Maybe there are some things I might not be able to learn on the internet that I will learn from the classroom depending on how it is structured, how it is designed.
Yeah.
So that for me is my argument. So going back to this young person at university, I think it's very important that try and use that time. If you have 3 years at university, you have about 1,090 days at university. That is amazing amount of time. I imagine what's at university. The people you are with, those are a powerful resource.
Yeah.
The books in the library,
Very powerful.
both the physical and the electronic library, the professors, even those that don't teach you in class. Amazing. There is a lot.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, I advise a person at university, learn as many things as you possibly can, because they are all going to make sense. If they don't make sense to you at your level of conceptualization, at least they make sense to your brain. Unconsciously, they will determine the quality of your ideas. They will determine the speed at which your brain is able to generate solutions, and you will never get stuck in any situation. Yes.
So on that point, because it all comes from awareness, self-awareness.
Yes.
And self and the environment you live in.
Yes.
I want to bring to think that the environment takes into consideration the people you surround yourself
Absolutely,
with.
yes. The social environment,
Exactly.
that's the people. Yes.
There's an aspect that you hinted on in the book, which you called BBC,
Yeah.
Born Before Computers.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these, let's say, university students who are living in an environment maybe of their parents or siblings who could be belonging to that particular generation of born before computers, who may not see whatever they want to pursue as feasible, and they are facing friction. So in that situation whereby probably the person who's paying the tuition is in the BBC generation and is telling this university student that, hey, you can't go for that course you're saying. I see it as a bad course in court. And the student is like, I have no option. I have to get this tuition. I don't have money to pursue my education. So in such a situation, what can be done? Should a person choose to go with that mindset of the BBC person? Or that's the time when they should say, I know what I want for my life and I can take this route alone.
Great. So we go back to there is no bad course. And then we connect from there and come to the BBC. BBC basically, it's a popular notion these days. I belong to the BBC generation, the people who were born before computers, at least before the computers were popular.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that is used to connote a certain generation. And that generation are the parents of today. Which the generation that was born in that time when, everybody's aspiring to becoming an engineer, a lawyer, a medical doctor, who else? Pilot, stuff like that. And those are the top of the charts. And that's the ideal.
Yeah.
And at university, in some universities, you'll find this notion of distinction between what they call professional courses and non-professional courses. And so if you do not perform well enough, then you can be allocated a non-professional course. They are called flat courses.
Yeah.
Okay. And so every parent would like to advise their children to study those powerful courses. But yes, they are powerful in a certain context, in the context of then, not necessarily of now. Maybe they are still powerful. Yes, indeed they are, because they are critical to human life, but they are not the only powerful ones. Along the way, many other powerful ones emerged and joined the list. I want to give you homework, by the way.
Yeah.
You go and check the trend of jobs. Where does medicine lie on the list among the top 10? You check. You will do the homework.
Okay.
So, this BBC trap. My parent feels I should study to become a lawyer. I feel that if I specialized in some ways as a comedian,
Specialize.
I'ma hit it big.
Yeah.
Alright?
Right.
Yeah, I'ma hit it big. But then my parents thinks this comedy thing is a joke.
Yeah.
Of course,
Call them clowns.
clowns, yeah. Of course, it's a business of jokes. Yes, it's a joke. So, wisdom is called for then. This is where now we go back to the life management pyramid. If I know that if I'm a young person, I have had an opportunity to go to university, someone is paying for me, my parents are paying for me, they want me to study law.
Yeah.
My passion, my vision is in comedy. Okay. So the beautiful thing about adult life is that life is not either or.
Can you
In-
expound more on that?
And the adult life is and also.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
When we are adults, we are not like kids. You know, mommy, if you don't get me the biscuits, I'm not going to eat food. So life ceases to be either or, to, and also. So if I am informed enough, now this is where the self-awareness and awareness about the environment, meaning also the trend of things in the career world, in the job market, the trend of things in the knowledge market. If I'm aware enough and I'm prudent enough, I'll say, Daddy, it's fine. If you insist, it's okay. I'll study the law. After all, knowledge doesn't kill. Has anybody ever died for an overdose of knowledge?
No.
No, it's not.
Maybe if it's a knowledge about dying very fast. You know? So, because it's an opportunity, someone is paying for me to learn and learn something very powerful. It's okay, I'll learn it. But in addition to learning the law, it doesn't stop me from pursuing my passion. And perhaps my knowledge of law will actually augment, will reinforce my pursuit there. Who knows, maybe I'll even be the first comedian in the League of Fraternity. Like comedy focusing on law. Maybe I'll be the first.
Nice.
I'll mention this, I don't know if it has legal implications. But at one time I was chatting with a friend and I was telling him, if I were the advisor of Golola, Moses Golola, I would handhold him and introduce him to doing serious business in sports comedy. To become a serious comedian focusing on sports. That's what I would mentor him in. And he would make a lot of money. Not as a kickboxer, but as a comedian in sports. The rest is detail. So my point is, hey young person, don't fixate your mind. Sometimes we don't need to fight. Sometimes we have to compromise for the sake of the bigger picture. Maybe today you may not see sense in what your parents are forcing you to study. Perhaps tomorrow you will. But that is if you don't have your way. If you can convince them, much the better.
Yeah.
If you fail to convince them, don't squander the opportunity. Because we argue, there is no bad cause. You'll find something great to do with it. And if you don't, I have seen some young people who even study medicine and hand over the degree paper to their parents
Yeah.
and say, thank you, daddy, thank you, mommy. Here is your degree. Now I'll pursue my passion.
Yeah.
But don't be deceived. That brain, like we said, the knowledge in medicine is not useless. It will inform your thinking in whichever field you take.
Yeah.
Okay? So for me, this is the advice I would give. I don't know if you have any more probe in that direction. Have I satisfied?
Yes, you
Yeah.
have. But before we leave that section, I want to still bring to you what you hinted on in the book,
Yes.
After University, What Next?
Yes.
The aspect of university epidemic being misguided, because I feel that it's in line with the BBC trap. That whole essence of saying that you need to go to university. And there is that quote that you put there, which I found so powerful, where you say that, excuse me, do not fear to go to the right institutions to get, the skills that you need. So how do we tackle this issue? Because I feel that if we work on the area of empowering our millennials, who are not the majority in the world, but a great percentage, and research has showed that they have potential of influencing the world globally. So if we tackle on all the things we've spoken about, helping them discover who they are in terms of being aware, noticing their environment, to inform their choices, which later goes into other skills. If we don't tackle the BBC and with that concept of university, you need to go to university. So what do you think should be done with that generation? So the parents of this generation, how can we help them know that this is a different generation where they need to be flexible and let children, not let them as such be free, but guide them towards what is relevant in this generation?
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing that out. In the book I argue that, as you put it, the university epidemic is misguided. So what do I mean by the epidemic? Epidemic in this sense, I am talking about the viral effect of the idea that, for a young person to become successful, they must go to university. And around here, and maybe elsewhere, parents would work to the best of their ability to make sure that each of their children go to university. And for parents, again, because of the BBC mentality, it's a measure of their success if your kids all go to university. And so that's what I call an epidemic. It has exploded. People go to university, some of them for the sake of going to university to get a university degree, because, the whole society is in a mess. Even the formal world of employment, how it is structured and the policies that govern it, for example, will tell you that, our policy here, if someone comes with a diploma, this is their entry level and this is what they earn.
Yeah.
And it's ingrained in the policy that automatically a degree holder will earn more money than a diploma holder. So you can see that the problem is systematically embedded.
Yeah.
Okay? And that tells you how deeply entrenched this BBC mentality is. It reigns in the officialdom. So what are the assumptions behind that policy? Diploma holder, say if the diploma holder at entry earns 700,000, then the degree holder at entry earns 1 million shillings automatically by virtue of the number of exams you have endured, you know?
Yeah.
By virtue of the number of exams you have endured. So, the problem is that from the 20 years working with university young people, I have figured out, in my view, this is an estimation, about 60% of the young people who go to university, they went to the wrong place. What they are looking for, if you engage them and you probe, what they are looking for they cannot find in university. What they are looking for is found in vocational technical institutions. Because university, unless if it's a technical university, but all we have here are academic universities. An academic university is designed, first of all, to produce theoreticians. And there is no mistake in that. Because we need the theoreticians. Okay? Now, most of these young people, what they are looking for, they are looking to learning a trade that they can bring to the marketplace and earn a living. They are looking to develop skills that enable them to produce something. Apart from a few courses, you don't find that in university. You find that in the technical and vocational institutions. So, because of a severe gap in career guidance and career mentorship, parents make the wrong choices for their children, and the young people also make the wrong choices for themselves. And that's why we are stuck. We are responsible for producing the unemployment. The graduate unemployment we have is an artificial creation. Because of our archaic thinking. And we need to reverse that thinking. So I conclude on that point by telling you that in my estimation, 60% of the young people we have enrolled in universities should be enrolled in vocational and technical institutions. Business, vocational, and technical institutions. And that means that we should be investing more in these institutions to make sure that they have first-class facilities, that they have first-class curricula, and they have first-class tutors or facilitators or educators. If you do that, you will not be stuck with young people who know a lot of things but can do
very little,
a lot of nothing. The fact that knowledge has become the greatest factor of production, which kind of creates a very big shift in the economics they taught in school. That economics said the factors of production are land, labor, capital, meaning money. You know, they meant money, and later on they added entrepreneurship. But I want to argue today that the greatest factor of production in the 21st century is knowledge. Now, I don't know any segment of the global population that is more advantaged when it comes to accessing cutting-edge knowledge than young people. Because the platforms on which cutting-edge knowledge can be accessed are largely digital. And young people are in a better position. They are more savvy in terms of accessing and utilizing these digital platforms. So they have that advantage. And if you check most of the innovations that are digital have been invented by young people
Yeah.
below the age of 30.
Mm.
That's not by accident. I mean, people like Mark Zuckerberg rule the world now.
Mm.
At what age was he when he invented Facebook? So, this is a young people's century. One of the reasons is because knowledge has become the greatest factor of production in the 21st century, and young people are better positioned to access and utilize knowledge as a tool of production.
Mm.
The second dimension, why this is a young people's century, I have indirectly mentioned it, is because technology rules the world. And young people, technology has put them in the lead position as far as championing technology is concerned. It is the young people we look to. They are the ones, if you go to the innovation hubs, they're the ones that are creating the applications that we use in the fintech, the financial sector,
Yeah.
Mm.
in the agriculture sector, in the education industry, in whatever industry. It's young people developing these technologies. So technology has put immense power in the hands of young people. And if I may use this as the closing analogy, you saw the French team in the previous World Cup,
Yeah.
Yes.
soccer.
Mm.
How many whites were in the French national team?
Very few.
Very, very few.
Maybe there were about 3.
Mm.
The rest were blacks.
Mm.
Now, for me, the French team has a lot to teach us as countries, that what is important is for you to identify who constitutes the winning team, positioning the right people in the right place for the benefit of all.
Mm.
So for the French team, for the French nation, it didn't matter, black or white. What mattered was who is it that is going to enable us score and win. If it's the blacks, so be it.
Mm.
And so it was. Now, nations that are forward-looking, that are strategically wired, have figured out that in the 21st century, the winning stars are the young people. They are the ones who will score the winning goals. So what those countries are doing is to position young people to take the lead, to champion the new economy of the 21st century. So the old guards, what they do, the white population in France was behind supporting logistically, facilitating and cheering.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, when the team wins, we have all won.
Mm.
So this is a message to the BBC generation like myself and older than me. Let's position young people in the leadership positions in our businesses. Let's allow the young people to lead the way. But the older generation has a lot of wisdom that you cannot pay for. You can't pay money for. That wisdom should be there, playing the coaching role, playing the questioning role, playing the mentorship role, playing the cautioning role. At the end of the day, the young people should play the leadership position in businesses and in other sectors of life. So the message I leave to the young people, have the confidence, this is your century. You are the leaders of today in business, in politics, in civil society, in faith matters, in every sector of life. take the challenge and take the lead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our dear viewers, if you like the content, subscribe. And these are the books we have been talking about. This is After University, What Next? It's a 270-page book. And this is Demystifying Capital, the one that has the 6-pump, 6-module. So you can contact him. The contacts are running down there. You always find the books if you get in touch with him. And you'll find the audio version on the podcast hosting platforms. Just type in Inspiration Route and you'll be able to access any of them. Thank you so much for viewing, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, have a blessed day.